Hey you guys, how are you? First of all, this video is for 4th and 5th grade. If you are not a 4th or 5th grader, head to my channel, go to my videos, and find your video with your grade level. This is lesson number 6. Also, you can go to my playlists and find your grade level, and all of your lessons are there, located in the same spot. So that's super simple. Let's get started with our rhythm of the week. All right. Excuse me, because I wrote this and then I brushed it against my shirt and I erased little parts of it. So we got a lot of 16th notes here. So let's work through our counts. So let's remember, I'm going to help you with this first set of 16ths and then you can help me with the last set. So the first thing in every measure is always beat 1. So I'm going to start with a 1. Now the second 16th note gets an E. We speak E on the second 16th. So I'm going to go ahead and put a lowercase e, kind of a sloppy E. I'm going to retry that. It's hard writing on this side. You'd be surprised. All right, there's my E. My third 16th note is going to get an and. So I'm going to put a plus there. And then my last 16th note is going to get an which we actually use a lowercase a for that. So I have one E and Now my next quarter note is going to get another beat. It's going to go to the next beat. So I've got beat 1. So next is going to go beat 2. Okay. So think through this next set of 16ths on your own. So let's think through the beat is going to come first. So we've got beat 1 and then we've got beat 2. So think of what beat's going to come next. It's beat 3. Beat 3. If you got beat 3, excellent job. So 3, then I'm going to do the next one's going to be the E, and then an And then what's my last beat going to be? I've got 1, 2, 3, and now I need beat 4. Nice. Okay, so this rhythm is actually not as scary as it might look. So it sounds like this. I'm going to speak it only. Ready, go. 1 E and a 2. 3 E and a 4. Okay, it's a bit of a tongue twister at first. Beat 2 and 4 are going to feel super long because they're quarter notes, and quarter notes are quite a bit longer than the 16ths. Will you just do the first half of the rhythm? Let's just do the 1 E and a 2. Ready, go. 1 E and a 2. Again, right now. 1 E and a 2. Nice job. Can we do the whole thing? If you notice, it's just a pattern. It's the same thing. We just speak a different beat. Okay, ready? Try it with me. Ready, go. 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. Yeah, let's try it again. Ready, go. 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. Nice job. Can you find something to tap on, like a percussion, something to create a percussion instrument? You're going to need both hands for this. Okay, you're going to need both hands because the 16th notes are really quick. So just to show, if I was tapping on my desk, I'd be going 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. Will you try that with me? Ready? Ready, go. 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. Yeah, nice. I'm holding this, but you use both of your hands to tap one last time. Ready, go. 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. Nice job. Well done. All right, so this week we're going to talk about choir. This is actually going to be a pretty quick one today because I want you to check out a couple of videos. And I have shown you a couple of these videos before, but I want to talk about them again because they're actually kind of coming back up and being kind of important again. So we're going to talk about choir first. So choir is a group of people that are singing together. A choir can be kids, it can be adults, it can be mixed if you really wanted it to. You can have women's choirs, you can have men's choirs, or you can have a combined choir. And we're going to focus on that today. We're going to focus on an older choir that has 4 voice parts. So that's kind of what I want to look at. So the 4 voice parts are, and I'm going to use... Here, we'll use my staff board. Probably could have used this for the rhythm of the week, huh? That's okay. All right. So our 4 main voice parts are soprano, alto, and I'll show you what I'm writing in just a second, tenor, and bass. So typically, The soprano and the alto voices are women's voices. And these voices really start, people start falling into these categories once you kind of hit 8th grade and up. My husband, Mr. Akins, he also teaches choir, and he kind of fits people into these voice parts starting in 8th grade, which is when you can start choir. So soprano and alto are traditionally women's voices. That doesn't necessarily mean that's only women's, like a man could not fall into these categories, but it's kind of uncommon. Same thing goes that the tenor and the bass are typically men's voices. Again, this isn't exclusive. It doesn't mean that a woman could not fall into one of these categories. Now, what's important to remember is that you don't pick your category. These are kind of assigned to you based on the way your voice is, and you don't have a lot of control over that. So let's just say you have a higher sounding, voice. You're probably going to fit in. If you're a lady, you're going to fit into the soprano category. If you're a gentleman, you're going to fit into the tenor category. If you tend to have a slightly lower pitch voice, you're probably going to fit more into the alto or the bass part. Again, you don't always get to choose this. One example that I always use is actually my husband, who's out in the living room. But he actually, I kind of convinced him to join choir with me when we were in college, and he was just absolutely set that he was going to be a bass. And he actually, when he auditioned for the choir, our choir director was like, "That was great, but you're not a bass, you're actually a tenor. It's where it's going to fit your voice the best," because that's just how it is. I sing alto because that's just how my voice fits the best. So these are our 4 voice parts. Now, the reason I bring this up is because we're going to talk about Eric Whitacre. And if you recognize that name, Eric Whitacre is a composer, and we had him for one of our composers of the month last year. He's a younger composer. He's still alive right now. He's composing really, really, really famous pieces of music right now, which is so cool. So I talked about him a little bit. And one thing that Eric Whitacre does that's really unique is he creates these virtual choirs. So a virtual choir is basically what he's now done 5 of them. And the first one was 10 years ago. And what he did was he had this piece that he had written called Lux Aurumque, which translates to light and gold. And he had written this piece. It's fabulous, an amazing choir piece. So he wrote this piece, and then he had this idea that it would be really cool what if people from around the world could sing this together, even though they're all really far apart. So what he did was he put the music online, and if you wanted to learn it, you could learn your voice part, take a video of yourself singing it along with him. He kind of did like a conducting video so that you could follow right along with his tempo, and then you could send it in. And they compiled all of these videos together to create a choir of people singing together, even though they weren't together in the same space. So this first choir had 185 videos from 12 countries from around the world. And it was a huge success. People loved this. So he decided to do another virtual choir, and that grew and grew and grew and grew. So he's now done 5 virtual choirs. His most recent virtual choir had over 8,000 different singers from 101 countries. So that just shows you how much it's grown. It's from 185 to over 8,000. So he actually just released a new virtual choir. I actually got an email. I'm on Eric Whitacre's email list, and is releasing a piece of music called Sing Gently. And he wrote this piece of music for this current situation we're in, where we're all kind of spread out and unable to see each other. So he wrote this piece of music called Sing Gently, and has created virtual choir number 6. So right now he's accepting submissions for this piece of music. And I thought of this last night because I thought about adding in virtual choir because I actually submitted a video. It's the first one I've ever done. You guys, when I showed you Fly to Paradise last year, which I will link in the description so that you can watch it again, because I guarantee you will recognize Fly to Paradise. It's one of my favorite Eric Whitacre pieces. It's so cool. I'll link you to the virtual choir version of it. You guys had said, "Well, how come you'd never done this before, Mrs. Akins?" I was like, I don't know. I never had submitted a video before. So this time I did it. So I actually last night took about an hour and a half, 2 hours of practicing the song, and I submitted my virtual choir video. So they're not due until Friday. So they'll put all the videos from everyone around the world that have sung their part and are gonna create one video, and I'm super excited to see it. I don't know when they'll release it, but once I get it released, I have a way to, if you're interested, let me know and I can send you the link. Otherwise, you can check out Eric Whitacre's virtual choir page. He has all the videos of all the virtual choirs that he's done there, including a lot of the rehearsals. He's doing a lot of videos right now to help people practice for it. So my big takeaway from today is that if I asked you what a choir was, you could tell me that it's no instruments in a choir, typically, just singing. There's 4 voice parts, and that you don't get to pick. You don't really get to pick. You kind of fall into one of the categories, and that's just how you are. And it's really cool, and it makes your voice is unique. And so it's just kind of up to you, who you are and where you fall in. And then check out these virtual choirs. I will link you to Lux Aurumque, which is his very first. I'll link you to Fly to Paradise, which you have heard. It's absolutely fabulous. I love it. It's also got a lot of, it's got like a rock beat to it. I know you'll recognize it when you see it. I showed it to you a couple of years ago. And I'll also send you a link to the song Sing Gently. And when you're listening to Sing Gently, what you're going to hear is 4 singers that basically recorded their parts, the soprano part, alto, tenor, and the bass part, in separate locations, and they brought them together to create the choir piece so that we could hear it to help us learn it. And then they'll eventually put everybody's videos together. So it's really cool. So take a look at that. Hopefully Eric Whitacre will keep doing these virtual choir videos, and you can submit one someday. And I know Mr. Akins is encouraging his choir kids right now to do it. So in a few years, if you choose to be in choir, Mr. Akins will help get you guys all set up for that too. So that's it for today. If you have any questions about anything that we talked about or any of the videos, message me. There's a form down in the description for you to tell me a little bit about which of the 3 videos, what you thought about them, and give me your feedback. And until next week, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye.